Hi to all lovers of football around the world. Hi to all Gunners fans around the world. You're welcome to the Arsenal Alchemy, and I apologize. I missed some session a couple of days ago. That was due to work pressure, but I'm back now, and I'm here to fill you in on all the transfer business within Arsenal and within other clubs. So we will just go right into it. The first bit of news is on the Eberechi Eze news, which of course is our biggest link up. And unfortunately, that deal is not progressing. There's been all sorts of talk going around that we're going to put a bid. This started last week, and we never put in any bid. So, like I said earlier in my past posts, I don't think Arsenal is so deadbeat on this deal. It doesn't look like they want to go for Eberechi Eze, because the position where he's strongest is the number 10 position, which is already occupied by Martin Odegaard. And of course, we have the young Ethan Nwaneri as his understudy. So I don't really see how this Eberechi Eze deal will work at the moment. If you want to get him as a left winger, he's not a left winger. He doesn't have the pace to play left wing. So I don't know how it will work. I've always said this, and I love Eze. I wish we didn't get Noni Madueke. I would have taken Eze in a heartbeat, but we got Noni Madueke, and he is going to interchange between the right wing and the left wing. So buying Eberechi Eze at this point, I think the club itself, the coaches are like trying to tinker on how Eze can actually fit into Arsenal. I don't see it at the moment. He's a fantastic player. Except you probably sell Havertz, or you sell Rice, or you sell Martin Odegaard. That's the only way it can happen. But these three people are bang on starters. There's no way any of them can be sold. So I think it's a big headache for Arsenal with this Eberechi Eze deal. And to put salt on injury, last week his buyout clause expired. So what this means is the club is not compelled to sell him at the initial buyout clause, which was about £68 million. Right now they can, put any figure they want. If they still want to sell him, they can, put any price tag they want on him. So, like I said, it's a very tricky one, but we're going to move on quickly. And we are being linked to Ademola Lookman of Atalanta. That rumor started on Friday. It was reported in the Italian newspaper that Ademola Lookman is being considered by Arsenal. And Ademola Lookman also recently just submitted a transfer request telling Atalanta he would like to leave. He thanked them for all the opportunities they provided for him, and he loved the fans, but he wants to move on. So I think that would be more realistic. He's a left winger. He's a winger in short, and he's a goal scorer. He's a very good goal scorer. Ademola Lookman scored 22 goals in all competitions last season. That is fantastic. That is maverick for a winger, So if we are being linked to Ademola Lookman, I will gladly take that. As much as I love Eze, as much as he is a brilliant player, I just don't see where he fits in, We don't want another player disgruntled in the bench. We don't want all this. So, but we'll see how that plays out. So moving on from Ademola Lookman, we go on to Leandro Trossard, whom is looking very likely to leave. But where he's going to leave to, we really don't know at the moment. He's strongly linked to Crystal Palace now. And recently, there's been reports that Stuttgart is in. They are serious. They are not even asking for a loan. They want to buy him permanently. Leandro Trossard's price tag is about £25 million. So I don't know if Stuttgart can match that to pick him up. But like I said, I feel some kind of way losing Leandro Trossard. He's been a brilliant player for us. He's done more good than bad for us. So sometimes he's a bit mediocre sometimes, but he comes up with the goods. Don't forget, this guy has bailed us out of some difficult games in the past. Like I said, he is just about our best finisher in Arsenal. So even if we're going to sell him, he shouldn't be sold on the cheap. He should be sold premium. You have to pay everything. And if we have to keep him, I would gladly keep him. So moving on from then, Arsenal is being linked to another youngster in the French league. He goes by the name Eberechi Jakub. Now, he's a 20-year-old, and I can hear most people saying, "Oh, we're buying another defender." But look, the squad is already struggling with fitness. Gabriel is injured. He is not fit. Timber is not fit. Calafiori has glass legs. And he limped out of our game against Newcastle. He is not fit either. He is not fit either. So we're already dealing with injuries at this early. The season hasn't even started. We are already dealing with injuries. So this, I can understand. We cannot go into the season unprepared. We cannot go into the season taking any form of chance. We have to be prepared. Even if we have injuries, it is not an excuse. So I understand why they are being linked to this guy. I understand that Rennes of France, they don't intend to sell him, but we haven't come up with a bid for him yet. But I heard we're strongly considering bidding for him. He's been dubbed the next William Saliba, so that's a very good thing. So, then the next news is on Gabriel Martinelli. Once and for all the rumor about Martinelli going to Saudi Arabia, going to Bayern Munich, going anywhere, the club released a statement and said Gabriel Martinelli is not for sale. Full stop. So we can stop talking about Martinelli leaving, because he ain't going nowhere. He's going to be in Arsenal, and I'm happy about that. I'm happy Martinelli. I think he still has a lot to contribute to this Arsenal team. Now, on the next bit of news from the Arsenal, is on Jakub Kiwior. Now, Kiwior was heavily linked to FC Porto. I think the rumor started on Friday as well. He's been Porto wanted to pick him up. They submitted a proposal to pick him on loan for 1 year with an obligation to buy him for £27 million. 27 million euros. But Arsenal put his price tag at £30 million, and which kind of put off FC Porto. They felt it's very expensive. But these are the same guys that sold Fabio Vieira to us at 35 million, almost 40 million, including the add-ons. They didn't think it was expensive. Now they want to buy a versatile defender like Jakub Kiwior Versatile. He can play left back, he can play right back, he can play central defense, and he is very, very good. All he needs is game time. And in a league like the Portuguese league, he will thrive there so well. Now you want to buy him for what? You're saying £30 million is too much for him. I understand they bought a defender from Southampton, so good luck to them, man. I'll be happy to keep Kiwior. I'll be happy for Kiwior to remain with us. And it's even reported that Mikel Arteta wouldn't want to sell Kiwior. He would like to keep Kiwior. So that's good. Then the next news is on Reece Nelson. Fulham are preparing a bid for around £20 million for Reece Nelson. I hope Arsenal accept this, bid. 20 million for Reece Nelson, considering his injury history, his injury record. I think it's very decent. I think it's very, very decent. And if a bid comes in for Reece Nelson, I think we should just take it. Take him off your wage bill. This player has been going on loan. I think he's gone on 3 or 4 loans till he made it to the first team. So look, this guy just needs to settle, take whatever they want, take whatever they offer, and let this guy go. That's my opinion. Now, before I go to other transfers, the game between Arsenal and Tottenham, I told you I promised to analyze the game after, do the post analysis, but some things came up and I couldn't quite come on air. It was work related, nothing serious. But that game was, in fact, I kind of regretted watching the game. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And in 2 posts of mine ago, I spoke about David Raya. I feel he's getting too comfortable. He feels he's not challenged. He feels he does anything he wants. Look at the goals. Look at the goal we conceded against Tottenham. That was a very, very embarrassing goal. And even if we are going to concede that early, why couldn't we score? We only had 1 shot on target. And it scared me a lot. Then Mikel Arteta, his game management was so poor, making very late substitutions, bringing in Gyökeres at 78 minutes, and at that point, as soon as Tottenham scored that goal, when it was 0-0, they were attacking. It was attack for attack. Arsenal was quite decent the first 15 minutes. It was, but as soon as they scored that goal, they all went back. They formed a low block against us. They defended for their life. You wouldn't even believe it was a friendly. Why would you play a low block in a friendly, But look, we were poor. No matter what, we were poor. Havertz was atrocious again. At this point, instead of Havertz, even if Gyökeres might be struggling with fitness, I think we should start playing Mikel Merino as our top 9. Then bring on Havertz, because Havertz was atrocious. His touches were bad. He missed 1 or 2 sitters again. And I'm like, how can you be missing this kind of things? You've been playing football for like what? 8-9 years professionally? And you're missing goals like this? You're missing chances like this? You train every day, you work out every day, you hone your skills in training, you try to get better, the coaches try to help you, and you're still not improving. In fact, he has regressed so much. It worries me. Gyökeres came in, he still looks a bit, he's still battling with match fitness, to be fair. I hope he uses this next few weeks to, get himself back to fitness, so that, because when I saw him, he looked kind of overweight. But That's to be expected, because of the holidays and, what he went through with the transfers, But I do hope he tones down, brings his weight down, and, work harder for the challenges ahead. So we're going to go to other transfers, and there's a lot of news. There's a lot of drama in other transfer news. Liverpool's bid for Isak of £110 million, you heard me right, was rejected by Newcastle. Then this, before then, Isak put in a transfer request that he wanted to leave, and Newcastle, well, okay, if you want to leave, that's fine, but whoever is going to come for you is going to pay the full premium. It's going to pay the premium of our valuation of you, and the valuation is about 140, 150 million. Damn. So that bid was rejected, and I don't know if Liverpool is going to come back for another improved bid. I heard something like Liverpool will not go for Isak again. I heard they've pulled out of the business for Isak. I don't know how true it is, but all I know is that the player he went on strike. He refused to train, and he refused to play preseason with the team. Of course, they were in Singapore with us, and he refused to go. He didn't make that trip, and he actually went to Spain. He went to Sociedad to train alone, which that was really wrong. But I heard he's back to Newcastle. Whether he would be a part of next season remains to be seen. Now, with that, and Liverpool are still trying to sign a defender. They're still trying to sign Mark Gahey from Crystal Palace, and Crystal Palace are also demanding for the full payment on his valuation. Is not going to be cheap. He's an England international. He's a good defender, even though I feel he scores a lot of own goals, But he's decent, and so they want him. But will he bench Konate? How are they going to structure this the playing time for McGahey? So that remains to be seen. I don't know how they're going to do that, but it's not Arsenal. It's not my problem. In fact, the more problem they have, the better. Sorry, guys. So we move on quickly to the Newcastle and Manchester United news. So I put these two together because they have been linked together for almost every player there. And most notable is the link up to Benjamin Sesko. The two teams are said to want Benjamin Sesko. But Newcastle has gone 2-3 steps ahead of Manchester United. I think Manchester United is dealing with funding. I don't think they have the money to buy that kind of player. Leipzig values Benjamin Sesko at £74 million. And it's being reported that Newcastle put in a bid for about 66 million, and it was rejected. And they came back with an improved bid of £70 million. So now that deal is on. That deal is most likely to happen, because I don't think Leipzig will turn down £70 million from Newcastle. If they're waiting for Manchester United has no money at the moment. They have a lot of issues. They have issues with players leaving the club, the outgoings, and the wages are killing them. If you're going to buy Sesko, it's not going to be cheap. It's not going to be cheap, So I don't think, and it's reported that Sesko actually wants Newcastle because of Champions League football. Manchester United is they're in disarray at the moment. I don't see that deal happening. And also Newcastle was being linked to Johan Wissa. Young Wissa of Brentford. In fact, we even heard he put in a transfer request so he could make it to Newcastle. But if Newcastle is going to buy Benjamin Sesko, I don't see this deal happening as well. And Manchester United has been linked to every other player that is out there, everything that is out there. And it's really, really looking unlikely that they are going to sign a center forward. They will be trapped with Rasmus Højlund. I think that's the only thing that can happen. And if that guy is going to lead the line for them next season, Manchester United is going to struggle. I think instead of buying Cunha, instead of buying Mbeumo, you already had Ahmad in that Mbeumo's position. Instead, they should have just prioritized a striker before buying Mbeumo. Mbeumo was very, very expensive as well. I think it was closer to 70 million. For Mbeumo, no. So, well, we're going to move on quickly. And João Paulina of Bayern Munich is being linked to Tottenham. That news is developing, and it's understood that they are very, very interested in signing him. Then the next news will be Jarell Hato from Ajax. He has completed his signing to Chelsea. He's a very good player. Arsenal was linked to him earlier, but Ajax refused to sign or something like that. But and it's believed that Chelsea paid about £40 million for him. Also, Xavi Simons is still developing with Chelsea. Most likely they're going to get him this week or next. He's a good player, Xavi Simons. Yes, Xavi Simons. He's a good player. I hope he does well in Chelsea. Chelsea is also being linked to Garnacho of Manchester United. I don't know what Chelsea sees in that guy, but they're being linked to him, which is fine. And but his valuation is the problem with Chelsea. Chelsea wants to pay about £30 million for Garnacho, which I think is fair. But Man U is looking for somewhere around £45-50 million. So that is it for transfer for the transfer roundup. That's as far as I can go. And also, we have a match against Villarreal on Wednesday, starting the Emirates Cup at the Emirates. And I will definitely analyze that match after it's over. But it's not going to be played. It's not going to be shown on cable or any of the streaming devices. But if you have the Arsenal app and can log into the Arsenal TV, you can subscribe and watch it there. So that will be all for now. That will be all for today. I hope you enjoyed today's package, and if you did enjoy it, do kindly share, like, and subscribe. And that will be all for today. Until next time, it's goodbye.